وحيا من بعد هون إن أراد أن قال كن فهو نور وحيا من بعد هون إن أراد أن قال كن فهو.
Intro Unit, pages 2 and 3. 1. Listen and discuss.
Have you noticed how often people who spend a long time sitting at a desk complain about back pain? When we've been sitting for a long time, we are not conscious of our posture. Slouching affects the position of our neck and spine and causes back pains or even headaches. A small gadget that operates as a slouch detector comes to the rescue. The gadget monitors your neck and spinal position and buzzes when the position is less than ideal. All you need to do is clip the gadget onto your shirt. However, you need to remember not to take any notice when the gadget buzzes for the wrong reason. For example, when you lean over to answer the phone or get something from a drawer. Do you think the slouch detector is worth buying? Would you use it? An Australian biogeneticist and his team began developing a vitamin A-enriched banana to combat the destructive effects of vitamin A deficiency in sub-Saharan Africa. The banana was chosen as it made up a lot of the children's diet in the area, where about a third of the children under the age of 5 are at risk of going blind due to vitamin A deficiency. Provided that this type of super banana can actually be cultivated locally and consumed by a substantial number of people, this type of food re-engineering might be extended to a wider range of products around the world. What do you think? Is intervening and re-engineering crops a good idea? Evidence has led scientists to suggest that early humans cooked their first hot meals more than 1.9 million years ago. The invention of cooking was a crucial factor in human evolution, as it allowed our ancestors to expand their diet and to obtain more calories and nutrients from their food. Cooking softened food and made endless chewing redundant. This, according to scientists, resulted in the disappearance of large teeth, which were replaced by smaller ones. It also reduced feeding times considerably and allowed early humans to develop different skills. According to Harvard evolutionary biologist Richard Wrentham, controlling and using fire to cook was instrumental to the development of modern man. What do you think? Hagfish, according to fossil record, have existed for over 300 million years. They are often called slime eels because of the slimy substance they produce, with the purpose of damaging the gills of predatory fish. As a result, hagfish have no natural enemies. The coelacanth is the most famous living fossil. It was supposed to have become extinct in the Cretaceous period, along with the dinosaurs, until a live specimen was caught in South Africa in the late 1930s. Since then, more coelacanths have been seen and photographed. A second coelacanth species was found in Indonesia in 1999. Coelacanths can be up to 2 meters long and feed on smaller fish in deep, dark waters. Did you know? Have you heard of other prehistoric animals that are still alive? Research findings support the belief that a number of animals laugh when tickled. Scientists believe that non-human primates not only laugh, but also have a sense of humor. Coco, a gorilla in California who has learned more than 2,000 words and 1,000 American Sign Language signs, has demonstrated the ability to use different meanings of the same word. When asked what she could think of that was hard, she signed rock and work. She also tied her trainer's shoelaces together before signing chase and turning to walk away. What do you think?
Page 4. 3. Conversation.
We're at the edge of the desert, waiting for the falcon hunters to arrive. And here they come. I thought their car was white. This must be them. They must have been on the road longer than expected. Welcome back. It's great to see you again, Mr. Ali.
Thank you. Good to see you, too. I wasn't sure you'd be here.
Of course I'm here. I can't wait to hear about your exploits. Have you had a successful hunt?
Have we indeed? We have been more fortunate than we could have ever expected. This has been the best trip ever. I wish we could have gone on for another 2 weeks.
But you must be exhausted, and you must have been in the sun a lot.
You can tell, can't you? Oh, well, we must be looking the part. What can you expect after weeks of camping in the desert? But that's the way we like it.
And now? What's next?
Now we are going to see our clients. My falcons are spoken for, so I won't have to look around for buyers. This is also important in our business. Having good clients and keeping them happy. And of course, we're going to have our truck cleaned and serviced before we do anything else.
Do you think of the financial gain while you're hunting?
No, not really. I only think of the hunt. You can't catch falcons if all you think about is how you are going to sell them. Falcons deserve respect and admiration. I often feel we have the best of both worlds, making a decent living while doing something we genuinely enjoy. There can't be too many people who can claim that.
You're quite right. I wish you continuing success in your endeavor and hope to catch up with you next year.
You're very welcome. It's really good to have the opportunity to talk about our trade and know that more people will hear about it. Page 4. 4. Pronunciation. Listen and find examples for rising or falling intonation in the conversation. Identify attitude, feeling, if relevant, for example, enthusiasm, regret, question, etc.
We're at the edge of the desert, waiting for the falcon hunters to arrive. And here they come. I thought their car was white. This must be them. They must have been on the road longer than expected. Welcome back. It's great to see you again, Mr. Ali.
Thank you. Good to see you, too. I wasn't sure you'd be here.
Of course I'm here. I can't wait to hear about your exploits. Have you had a successful hunt?
Have we indeed? We have been more fortunate than we could have ever expected. This has been the best trip ever. I wish we could have gone on for another 2 weeks.
But you must be exhausted, and you must have been in the sun a lot.
You can tell, can't you? Oh, well, we must be looking the part. What can you expect after weeks of camping in the desert? But that's the way we like it.
And now? What's next?
Now we are going to see our clients. My falcons are spoken for, so I won't have to look around for buyers. This is also important in our business. Having good clients and keeping them happy. And of course, we're going to have our truck cleaned and serviced before we do anything else.
Do you think of the financial gain while you're hunting?
No, not really. I only think of the hunt. You can't catch falcons if all you think about is how you are going to sell them. Falcons deserve respect and admiration. I often feel we have the best of both worlds, making a decent living while doing something we genuinely enjoy. There can't be too many people who can claim that.
You're quite right. I wish you continuing success in your endeavor and hope to catch up with you next year.
You're very welcome. It's really good to have the opportunity to talk about our trade and know that more people will hear about it. Page 5. 5. Listening. A. Talk about professional falcon hunters. Equipment. Hunting season. Popular areas. B. You are going to listen to an interview with a professional falcon hunter. Answer true or false.
We are here to speak with Mr. Ali, who took up falconry as a profession about 12 years ago. Good afternoon, Mr. Ali. Thank you for agreeing to talk to us about this exciting profession. How did you decide to become a falconer?
Well, having run my own business for a few years, I realized that I wasn't your ideal store owner material. I am not a particularly ambitious person, and being aware of my strengths and weaknesses, I knew that I would gradually become a somewhat unhappy, disgruntled store proprietor, and possibly regret not having tried something else in life. I have always been interested in falconry, and even had an early start through my father. He loved falcons, and used to take me hunting quite often. So I eventually sold my store, bought this powerful, fully equipped SUV, and teamed up with 2 of my friends who had already joined the profession.
Why did you need this type of car?
Because there's a lot of traveling involved. We set out in September, and we often need to travel for days in search of migratory falcons.
Do you catch other prey while you're hunting?
No, we're not interested in other prey. In fact, we are careful to only hunt in areas where falcon hunting is permitted, and avoid areas that might be marked as wildlife sanctuaries for different species.
Did you have to go through any training?
Absolutely. Falcon hunting is a demanding art. You need to learn and acquire the necessary skills before you become creative and develop your own style. I had a head start because of my father, who was a highly skilled falconer, but I accompanied one of the top hunters in the country as an apprentice for a couple of seasons. I will always be grateful to him and my father for all they taught me.
Where do you stay during a hunt?
In the desert, of course. We pitch our tents in the desert, bring out our supplies, and stay as long as we need at each spot.
Life in the desert must be very harsh, scorching heat by day and bitter cold by night. How do you manage?
The way Arabs have always managed in the desert. As for the cold, it is often welcome after a very hot day, at least for a while. At any rate, we always have a campfire to warm us as we exchange stories about falconry and falcon hunting. It's difficult to explain, but that is when I really feel alive. I often think that my father must have known I would follow in his footsteps someday. He didn't impose it on me, but he never thought I would carry on as a store owner for the rest of my life.
Falcon hunting must be very competitive. I mean, you mentioned sitting around the campfire, I presume with other hunters.
Yes, that's right. There is mutual respect, so we are careful not to cross lines or offend each other. You have to bear in mind, however, that catching a falcon is more often than not a team effort. So come to think of it, we do not compete against each other in an aggressive manner, and we enjoy spending time together during a hunt.
Are these hunting trips profitable enough to tide you over for the remainder of the year, till the next season?
If you're good at it, these trips can be quite lucrative. A falcon can fetch hundreds of thousands of reals, depending on its breed, size, and beauty. The rarer the falcon, the higher the price. But most of us also work as trainers, or do other work the rest of the time.
And do you also fly your own falcon?
Of course. I have a beautiful falcon that is also quite rare. He is my pride and joy.
Thank you very much for your time and all the interesting information.
Thank you. Unit 1. There's no place like home. Pages 6 and 7. 1. Listen and discuss. 1.
What is home? A roof to keep out the rain? 4 walls to keep out the wind? Floors to keep out the cold? Yes, but home is more than that. It is the laugh of a baby, the verse of a mother, the strength of a father, warmth of loving hearts, lights from happy eyes, kindness, loyalty, comradeship. Home is first school for young ones, where they learn what is right, what is good, and what is kind, where they go for comfort when they are hurt or sick, where joy is shared and sorrow eased, where fathers and mothers are respected and loved, where children are wanted, where the simplest food is good enough for kings because it is earned, where money is not as important as loving kindness, where even the tea kettle whistles from happiness. That is home. Ernestine Schumann Heink.
2. No one realizes how beautiful it is to travel until he comes home and rests his head on his old, familiar pillow. Lin Yutang.
3. The wealth of a man in exile is home, and the poverty of a man at home is exile. Arabic proverb.
4.
The best way to keep children home is to make the home atmosphere pleasant and let the air out of the tires. Dorothy Parker.
5.
A man builds a fine house, and now he has a master and a task for life. He is to furnish, watch, show it, and keep it in repair the rest of his days. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
6.
Boys are life's way of telling you your house is too clean. Unknown.
7.
There isn't enough furniture in the world to make a house without love feel like a home. Unknown.
8.
A house is a home when it shelters the body and comforts the soul. Philip Moffat.
9.
A house that does not have one worn, comfy chair in it is soulless. May Sarton.
10.
A small old house filled with love is better than a large new house with none. Unknown.
Page 10. 4. Conversation.
Where are you going to live when you start college in the fall?
I don't want to live on campus. There's too much noise when you're trying to study, and there aren't enough places to go when you want to socialize. So I'm going to get an apartment off campus.
Cool. What kind of apartment do you have in mind?
Well, I'm hoping to find a large modern place with an extra bedroom for visitors. It has to have parking, and of course, it has to have a washer and dryer.
Hold on. Do you have enough money for an apartment like that?
Why? Do you think it would be very expensive?
You are clearly out of touch with rental prices. You need a reality check. An apartment like that will cost an arm and a leg.
Like how much?
We're talking megabucks. Maybe $2,000 a month.
$2,000? I had no idea. I thought it would be a lot less than that.
Only if you want to live in a tiny apartment way outside of the city.
Well, maybe I shouldn't be in such a rush to move out. I could live at home with my parents just for the first year.
Page 11. 5. Listening. Listen to the real estate agent talk about important factors to consider when looking for an apartment to rent. Tick the factors mentioned.
Finding the right apartment to rent can have a big impact on your life. Still, finding the right rental doesn't have to be an overwhelming project if you know what to look for. Here are some of the most important factors to keep in mind. The location of the apartment is extremely important. You might find a beautiful, big apartment, but if you don't like the neighborhood, you're probably not going to be happy in your home. Ask yourself, do I like the feel of this neighborhood? Is it convenient for shopping and transportation? Is it safe enough? Is having a lot of light important to you? Then be sure to check the number and size of windows in the apartment and whether they are facing south. If an apartment doesn't have enough light, you may find it to be a depressing place to live. Check the size of the rooms to make sure your furniture will fit. After all, the last thing you want to discover on moving day is that your queen-sized bed won't fit into the bedroom. Also check that there is enough closet space to fit all of your clothes. Do you have a pet? If so, find out whether pets are allowed in the building. If you don't like or are allergic to pets, you might want to look for an apartment in a building that does not allow them. Do you have a car? If so, you should check to see if a parking spot is included in the rent. You should also check the convenience and safety of the parking. And lastly, be sure to read every word of the rental contract. If there is anything you don't understand, get clarification before you sign the contract. The apartment you choose will be the place you wake up in and go home to each day, so it's worth taking the time to carefully consider these factors. If you do, you are bound to find a rental that is just right for you.
Page 11. 6. Pronunciation. In English, there are many two-syllable words whose part of speech and meaning change if you change the stress. Stress the first syllable of most two-syllable nouns. Stress the last syllable of most two-syllable verbs. Listen and practice.
1. Finding the right apartment can have a big impact on your life. 2. Paying rent that is too expensive for you can impact your lifestyle. 3. Finding the right apartment doesn't have to be an overwhelming project. 4. When you go to a job interview, you should project a sense of confidence. 5. Be sure to read every word of the rental contract. 6. Some people contract dangerous viruses while they are traveling abroad.
Pages 12 and 13. 8. Reading.
Vision 2030, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is blessed with a significant wealth of natural resources, an Islamic, family-oriented society, and extraordinary opportunities for economic growth. The nation's Islamic faith, national identity, culture, and heritage make it special and provide limitless potential for development. The nation is honored to welcome and serve an increasing number of pilgrims and visitors from across the globe every year. The expansion of the 2 holy mosques and the upgrading of services is expected to accommodate 15 million visitors by 2020. The people. Saudi Arabia's 2030 vision is largely based on the ambition, determination, and talents of its people and their Islamic values. It is important, therefore, for the members of the Saudi society to be supported by social, healthcare, and educational systems in order to cultivate and nurture its children in the best way possible to prepare them for a promising future. Cultural and entertainment projects will include the establishment of libraries, galleries, museums, and the organization of different types of events and activities. Housing and community development projects will provide a pleasant, secure, and sustainable environment for the citizens of the kingdom. An updated educational system will provide high-quality learning and develop available talent and potential. Graduates will have the knowledge and skills required by the job market and access to many opportunities for professional development. The economy. The kingdom's economy has great growth potential. A diversified and renewed business environment will offer employment opportunities to all citizens and attract new investors. Improved and updated services and facilities will attract small and large companies interested in participating actively in a dynamic economy. Telecommunications and information technology will be updated and made available in urban and rural areas. The kingdom's strategic position that connects the waterways of 3 continents, Europe, Africa, and Asia, will make it a leading trading and transportation port for cargo from different countries across the globe. Streamlined government services will facilitate the introduction of new business sectors and partners and support growth. Investment opportunities will be increased through privatization of state-owned assets and agencies. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will be a leading business hub with limitless opportunities for the development of new talent and creative enterprises.
Page 14. 10. Writing.
A home over the canyon. When people talk about unusual homes, I think of our friend's dream home in New Mexico, on which they spent all their savings building. On the outside, the house looks like most adobe homes of the area. Adobe is made from sand, clay, water, and organic material that are shaped into bricks and left to dry in the sun. Our friend's house is a beautifully designed, large adobe home with a drive and a large cactus tree near the entrance. It has soft lines and is less angular than conventional urban homes. When you go through the door, you find yourself in a beautiful, spacious room with large windows and sunlight streaming in. Large windows are unusual for adobe homes, but this is no ordinary home. Part of the house juts out of the adobe shell that can be seen from the street and stretches to the end of a cliff. You walk past a kitchen fitted with a cast-iron stove and handmade wooden cabinets that give off the most enticing smells of cumin and chilies and herbs. It is so real you can almost taste the food. The spacious room that you step into when you enter the house stretches in all directions. You walk towards the sitting area. When you get closer, you need to brace yourself as the most spectacular view imaginable unfolds before your eyes. All of a sudden, you are no longer stepping on wood. The floor is hard, and your footsteps make a strange resounding sound. You look down and wonder whether you have been transported in space and time. You are looking into the gaping canyon. You think you are falling into it. You can almost feel the air whooshing past. Part of the floor is made of thick, custom-designed glass. You might like it or hate it, but however you feel, you have to admit it is unique. This is the way I feel about this house and the day I spent there. It was a unique, unforgettable experience, even if I wouldn't choose to live with a glass floor over a canyon for the rest of my life. Would you?
نور وحياة من بعدهن إن أراد أن قال كن فهو وحياة من بعد هون إن أراد أن قال كن